same path that may not be moving too fast, that is going to increase that flood threat. Has been fairly good for the drought. Even though some of us are still in drought, it has at least helped bust us out of that somewhat for some areas. But yeah, the flood threat will be another big time threat that we have to monitor. We've also had the heat advisories, the extreme heat warnings, just had a little bit of everything going on today. We'll pop it back over here to, again, just show you where the best risk is. The best risk is going to be for areas along and north of Interstate 40. That's where the Storm Prediction Center still has everybody in the shade of yellow in that level 2 out of 5 risk for some of these strong storms. Even though we are seeing some tornadoes right now, or at least some tornado warnings just outside of our viewing area or just barely inside of our viewing area, the main threat is going to be the damaging wind threat and then also the flood threat. But there is that low end tornado threat that we can't rule out completely, and that's exactly what we're seeing up there in parts of southern Kentucky. But just the worst one of those storms is just outside of our viewing area. I'm going to go ahead and get this back on our radar now.
They just issued a severe thunderstorm watch, Brett, for much of Middle Tennessee.
Okay, it's like what we were talking on that live stream we were doing earlier. You know, we knew it was coming. We were going to wait and see when, but I guess there it goes.
Yeah, a lot of times they need to just see how the line is evolving, and right now with the way the storms are looking, they're definitely holding together. We've got a long track tornado possibly on the ground, at least an observed tornado, possibly long track tornado in progress right now. So they have gone ahead and extended the severe thunderstorm watch. Why is it a severe thunderstorm watch, not a tornado watch? The conditions and the environment is more favorable for damaging winds. Earlier, I was watching these storms more in central Kentucky and western Kentucky with reports of wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour, and that's just as strong as a low-end tornado. So while there will be the potential for a few tornadoes earlier in the evening, I think, we're going to be looking at more of a wind threat and a heavy rain threat for us. But this does go until midnight. It includes a good 2/3 of our viewing area.
Yep, that, like you were saying, that is the main threat. But you can't rule those 70-mile-an-hour winds out either, because, I mean, that can really do a lot. And then if we take into consideration, too, the ground already being saturated, any weak trees, they may have a little bit of an easier time coming down, too. So also just make sure you're aware of that as well, because those super strong winds like that can definitely blow some of those trees down. When the ground's already fairly saturated from all the rain that we've been seeing over the past month, it seems like almost every single day, nearly all of Middle Tennessee, if not all of Middle Tennessee, is actually dry right now. But these storms are just going to take a little bit longer to get here. They're going to keep on working their way further south and east as we go through the rest of the afternoon and then through the evening and then even into tonight. Still looks like the main and severe threat should be coming to an end about midnight or 1 a.m. And that's also when they have that severe thunderstorm watch going too. So just have a way to receive alerts just in case there is any sort of warning issued for your area. The greatest threat for a tornado is going to be closer to the Tennessee and Kentucky line. It's a low-end threat, but it's still definitely possible like we're seeing. You can see those red flashing polygons right there on your screen. Those are the tornado warnings that are pretty much just outside of our viewing area, but we still have that one tornado warning up here in far northern portions of Logan County, and this is still one of the main reasons we're on, but it looks like when we look at the reflectivity, Katie, it's showing most of northern Logan County actually pretty dry right now.
Yeah.
We'll see what the velocity is looking like just to make sure nothing crazy's happening. But
I don't know if it's side low.
I
maybe?
think it really does, because I'm looking at this right above Chandler's Chapel, and then it's a bright green, you know, popping up on the winds, and then there's nothing right there. So
yeah,
I don't really fully trust that picture.
Yeah, so we're going to stick with this just because the warning does continue for Logan County. We're also looking for updates from the National Weather Service. But maybe looking at some noise on radar here, which makes it a little more difficult to really pinpoint. But for those in the watch box, or the warning box, we'll just continue to stress. Go ahead and head to your safe spot just in case. Sometimes too, these storms can cycle and then reignite a new spin up. So those near Anderson, even Buffalo Fork, Davis Crossroads, I think you're more in that heavy rain area, but good enough just to go ahead and stay in your safe spot as well. That's just across the county line in Butler County. We're talking about Anderson though, Buffalo Fork. This is going to be near Morgantown Road, headed towards Bucksville Road. That all in Logan County, Kentucky. Now, the warning here will go for another 15 minutes. We'll be curious to see, it's at least what I'm seeing, it looks like it has kind of lost its shape. But we're going to stick with this here just in case we are looking at the potential for maybe a cycle where something could drop again within this storm. As you noticed, I had lightning on just within view. It's a very noisy storm here, 53 strikes just within the view here. So a lot of lightning, intense rainfall with these storms as well, as they don't move too fast, maybe 30 miles per hour. But we continue to track here this cell, maybe near Coslow and Anderson, Morgantown Road. But again, when we look at the velocity, it's just kind of messy.
It is messy.
So that makes it a little more difficult here to pick out what we could be looking at. So for safety, I want everyone in the northeastern part of Logan County making sure that you're just taking your safety precautions to be on the safe side here, or until they allow the warning to be let go. I haven't seen anything from...
I haven't either. They and you know, that's with the national, I believe that's National Weather Service office in Louisville right there. But like, I mean, they got their hands full right now. They got several tornado warnings going on, several severe thunderstorm warnings. So I'm sure they'll be watching that. I'm sure they are watching it. They did just go ahead and extend that one tornado warning. You see it right there behind you. That was that confirmed tornado. It looks like they've just gone and put tornado warning on it, but they have dropped that a little bit down further to the south. And it actually now, that warning butts up against Cumberland County, Kentucky. So,
and that one's going to go until 6 o'clock. This is for Metcalf, where we're looking at here. This is a traditional tornado warning. For anyone that may be new to the area, this is always good, just a good lesson, a rule of thumb here. These purple boxes that you see, these are observed tornado warnings. That means that the Weather Service has confirmed a tornado has touched the ground, it is in progress or has been in progress, has done damage, because they can see within the radar debris that has been lofted into the air. This red box is our traditional tornado warning. It is radar indicated, meaning that we're seeing enough scan within the radar that we could be looking at some intense rotation within the storm that could drop at any moment or is dropping. And so that is the traditional tornado warning tag. So that is, or what we would call our base warning tag. The purple box here would be the next level up, a confirmed tag where it has been observed. So that's what we've got as far as we're concerned here in Middle Tennessee. The threat for severe weather will continue as the Storm Prediction Center has decided to extend the severe thunderstorm watch until midnight tonight. And that's pretty much on par with what we were expecting here. Again, Brett and I were talking earlier on our live stream about the fact that I think the biggest severe threat is going to be north of 40 for tonight. That's going to be where we have a very small risk for tornado. That's going to be where we have our higher wind gusts, especially here east of 65 and north of 40, so the upper Cumberland region. I do think, too, we're also looking at intense rainfall with a lot of these thunderstorms. But as we head deeper into the night and as these storms continue to work their way closer to the I-40 corridor, we're going to start to see this shift more into a flash flood threat, which is why a lot of us are under a flood watch as we head through the overnight hours. Not to say that we won't see a few damaging wind gusts. For Nashville, it looks like it'll be closer to about 9, 10, 11 o'clock. So tune in tonight at 9 p.m. I think we'll be looking at a fairly active radar here. Even at 5:30, we've got our 5:30 broadcast coming up in the next 10 minutes. So it should be a fairly active night. There again is where the biggest tornado risk is. And notice it's even higher up into central Kentucky. This shows and highlights pretty much where we've got that higher risk, and pretty much spot on where Storm Prediction Center put that level 2. It's where they ended the watch as well. So that's going to be the main concern for storms tonight. We'll be in our northern counties, north of 40 and into southern Kentucky. Potential for tornado. I think our highest tornado risk will be between now and most likely 10 p.m. As we get later into the night, the risk for spinning storms will begin to decrease. Damaging wind gusts will remain, and then the flash flood risk will be with us as well.
And it looks like KD too. I was just seeing in the National Weather Service office in Louisville. It looks like they're saying too that that tornado warning that just clips the far northeastern part of Logan County, that circulation has also gotten a lot weaker and broader. So that's also good news for us right there. I don't know if they're going to let it go early since it's only 10 more minutes left on it. They may just keep it, but at least the rotation is not looking
As impressive.
really too good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And these southern edge like this one here through Logan County, we were talking about this and kind of giving it a sideways look and thought, that one looks interesting. And sure enough, Weather Service decided to issue the warning. So we're going to continue to watch this one here in Logan County just in case for any spin-ups that may occur. But the bigger story continues to be out of Hart County with the observed warning and now stretching all the way into Metcalfe County, other surrounding counties as well with a tornado warning. An observed tornado near Mumfordville and points to the east, south of Hardyville, kind of past near Burnell Crossing. And in fact, we'll go back here and look at the path, which is going to be a little hard for us to see just because the radar is farther away. But you can pick out where that tornado rotation was, passed right over 65 in Munfordville and through Hart County, just to the north of Horse Cave and Cave City. So once again, this is going to be the bigger story of the evening, I think, is going to be this observed tornado. It looked quite impressive on radar. But again, the tornado warning does continue. It has extended, butts up next to Cumberland County, which is in our viewing area. And the other tornado warning that we continue to monitor is here in the northeastern corner of Logan County. That goes until 5:30. So I think we're gonna stick with this here. Haven't heard anything in the back as far as our newscast that'll be coming up. The tornado warning continues, so we'll stick with it here until our newscast, unless they decide to let it go.
Other than that up there, though, at least for our area, it's pretty quiet. So
Yeah.
just got to give it a little bit longer, though, and all that we're seeing up there in parts of southern Kentucky, that's just going to keep on working its way south, and that's going to leave us with a better chance for these showers and thunderstorms, some which could be strong. Also, some severe thunderstorms going to be possible. That severe thunderstorm watch that was just issued a few minutes ago for most of Middle Tennessee, that is going to go until, ignore this time up here, that's not going to be right, that's for southern Kentucky. So for southern Kentucky, that tornado watch is going to go until 9 p.m. for all of these counties right here in Middle Tennessee. Every county in pink, that's the severe thunderstorm watch that's going to go until midnight. So just have a way to receive warnings. If you try to go to sleep later on tonight, just make sure that you have a phone by you that will wake you up if a tornado warning is issued for your area. And we will be here continuing to cover this, any tornado warning that does get issued here in our viewing area.
I was looking too, Brett, back in the chat, and it looks like in Grayson County, which is just to the north and west of Hart County in Kentucky, they're reporting 8 damaged structures with searches being conducted right now, possible injuries as well. And that's going to be from this tornado, the observed tornado right here that continues with a traditional tornado warning. So we never like to hear that. So we're thinking about those in Kentucky. So we are just getting started as far as our severe risk goes. Brett was mentioning again the severe thunderstorm watch that remains in effect now until midnight and does include much of Middle Tennessee. Would like to see these storms start to congeal a little more. I don't like how they're out by themselves like this. That typically, if the environment is favorable, that would lead to stronger supercells or stronger storms. But eventually we do expect these to kind of form a line, and that will begin to switch more into a damaging wind threat. Still a spin-up tornado risk there, especially for our counties in southern Kentucky and those that border southern Kentucky in Tennessee. And then the heavy rain will become a concern, especially increasingly a concern after 9 p.m. tonight. That's where we have the flood watch that's in effect until 7 o'clock in the morning. This includes a lot of Middle Tennessee. But you notice where they didn't put the flood watch here in our northwestern counties, and that has been the trend with the models here is Clarksville area, Hopkinsville area, not seeing quite as much activity. So you may get by tonight if you're up near Clarksville, Dixon, Camden, from not much severe weather. You may get some spot thunderstorms, some brief heavy pockets of rain, but you can see how these storms, as we head more toward the evening hours tonight, are a little concerning by the way the model is running here. This would be training from Nashville, Gallatin, Lebanon, Cookeville, down to Murfreesboro. The way that these storms just linger over the same locations here could lead to some intense rain going into tonight. And again, some severe thunderstorms as well. And the amount of rain that we've had over the last 30 days, there's not many areas for that water to go. So that is something that we'll be concerned about moving forward here.
Katie, I just noticed too, I can see it on your screen right there as well. They've now, instead of replacing that tornado warning that was in effect for Logan County with another tornado warning a little bit further down, a little bit further south, they went ahead and put that severe thunderstorm warning. And if you were watching this just a little bit ago, that rotation was kind of broadening out and weakening. So the National Weather Service office in Louisville, who is in charge of Logan County and Simpson County, Kentucky, went ahead and put that as a severe thunderstorm warning with that tornado possible tag. So still some strong winds possible with that storm that is moving out of the far northeastern corner of Logan County, dropping south down into Simpson County. But the tornado threat appears to be much lower now with that particular storm. The tornado threat with the other storms that are just outside of our viewing area, those are still there. Those tornado warnings are still going to be in effect.
All right, thanks so much, Brett. And like you said, we're going to be looking at the storms to continue as we head through the evening hours tonight here. The newest information coming out too is the severe thunderstorm watch that has been issued for a lot of Middle Tennessee now, and that goes until midnight tonight. Wind will be the primary risk along with heavy rain, but can't rule out a spin-up tornado. And we have seen our fair share of tornado warnings already through Kentucky. We've been following this line for the last several hours, pushing south. This is what has me a little concerned for us here in Tennessee. All these dark red boxes that you see here are flash flood warnings. So in the wake of these strong thunderstorms, we're also seeing intense rainfall rates that could lead to flooding concerns as we head deeper into the evening hours. But in the last hour here, we've had the tornado warning in Logan County, which is what brought us on the air. That has been replaced with a severe thunderstorm warning for Logan County and into Simpson County and parts of Warren County, and that'll go until 6 o'clock. That'll be the main threat as we move forward. But we'll be looking at, again, the potential for a few spin-up tornadoes over the next few hours. This also will be a big story for us as well, just outside the viewing area in Mumfordville. An observed tornado has been reported. We're going to have much more on that coming up in just a few minutes.
You're watching Fox 17 News at 5:30, your Code Red station.
And Fox 17 News continues our Code Red weather alert tonight, as we have already had a tornado warning in our area, along with strong storms that are possible moving forward. The storm system that we're watching has already created some big problems up in southern Ohio. Look at that. The water is moving fast. We've got submerged cars. This